Hey guys, welcome back to some more Mythic Plus commentaries in Season 3 of Shadowlands. This is a plus 20 Necrotic Wake I did with some friends. It's a very fun key, we had a lot of very good pulls. We also made some mistakes that are I think very hilarious. That was towards the end of the pull, it was upstairs. But overall, it's a really fun key to play. Necrotic Wake is very easy this season, especially with the items, the orbs, and the weapons you can pick up. So I'll be walking through that. This week is bolstering, so this first pull is a little bit hard, just because we have to pull very big, because that's the way you do Necrotic Wake, to be honest. But like I said, we have plenty of damage, and we decided to lust the first pull, so we don't have a lot of problems with bolstering, and it does fall off after 20 seconds. So the hunter is grabbing the hammer. We're just waiting for him to feign death and get out of combat, and he's gonna pick up the spear as well. Alright, so this is surprisingly, this pull is kind of hard because a lot of the times people don't have CDs coming into this pull because they spend it on the last pull. So I might struggle a little bit here, but I think in general I'm pretty much fine. As soon as we kill the demolisher, we're not gonna die for the next 10 seconds, so we're pretty safe now. So you can see, I'm not choosing to use a lot of defensives up here. And after this pull is the first boss. We can use the Goliath, the orb from the broken Goliath, to pull a lot of trash into this and then pull them with the ads. They changed bolstering so that it doesn't, the ads, the normal trash doesn't bolster boss anymore, which is really good. It's a huge change to do keys, because when it used to be, whenever it's bolstering, this first boss is just the boss by itself. But now, as you can see, we can pull extremely big. Got this, basically all the trash, all the little bags and soldiers. And everybody picks up the orb and then they stay in melee. So as you can see, it just heals and damages a whole bunch. If you look at the meter on the right, lower right corner, it's just doing so much damage. So even if we don't have lust here, this boss is gonna go down without any effort. I'm gonna hodge that. And I'm taking this to leave some space for the DPS and healers to bait the frontal. You can see I'm moving back just a little bit so they can stay. Whoever's got targeted can just stay, make a U-turn, and then have the boss frontal towards the back. But the boss is almost over. That was unfortunate. But that was a great binding shot by the hunter, so we don't have to spend globals on killing the ads. We can just kill the boss right here, right now. Alright, that's it. Alright, depending on how much time you spend on the first boss, this pull is deceptively hard sometimes, because if you use all your cooldowns twice, as the boss died, you're coming into this without a lot of defensive, but that was not the case here. Alright, they're about to die. I think we can start moving out soon. There's another broken Goliath up the stairs, and if you killed the first boss fast enough, you can use the same steward before it went away to repair this Goliath as well. And this whole hallway up until the bridge is pretty easy with this if everybody gets the orb and use it to kill the trash. You can see this. So I kick this, and then I bring them all in here. And with the orb, like we're not gonna die. So we're just slowly bringing them down. All right, and then we've had 30 seconds left. That's plenty enough for the next pull. So that we'll get the bags and then the 3 patrols. One thing you should be really careful about is the Marauder's frontal slash, like right there. I've seen a lot of times it just clips melee and one shot some players. So I always make sure I'm facing it away from my group or any players. And then we're skipping the next pack. There's a hammer on the left side and a spear on the right side, and the warrior will go pick it up because he can leap across and then get the hammer without pulling aggro like you just did there. And then he's slowly tracking here to get the hammer, and then he'll get the spear. Alright, 2 Marauders should be good. Just facing away from your group and the melee, like I'm facing it towards the back of the bridge, the other side of the bridge, so that my melee can stand in the back. And then I'll single kick the mage, and then, or I did not, and that caused my healer to die. Now looking back at this, I should have just hodged the mage at the start because I didn't have my Avenger's shield up at that time. They're about to die, so I'm not wasting my taunt. Alright, this is another Goliath and some big pulls coming up. Usually we pull everything except for the big patrol ad, but it's a little hard to gather sometimes, and we have enough orbs time to kill everything. So I'm just, like I said, I'm very carefully facing the Marauder away from my group. And they weren't doing a very good job interrupting the necrotic bolts. So, but that was fine. We still have the orb, so there's nothing to worry about for the most part. We'll kill Wool here, Earth here. Alright, still got some of the orbs left. Should be pretty easy. picked up the spear. Alright, I'm just waiting for the patrol to go, and then we can do this last pack before the second boss. I'm mostly focusing my kick on the skeleton mage, so I'll try to interrupt at least one of them so that my healer doesn't fall back on a lot of healing. Alright, some quick tip about this boss. If you tank it in one of the corners, the adds will spawn relatively close to each other. So as you can see, we're pulling it back to the Goliath here, so that whenever it spawns the adds, it's gonna stay relatively grouped. Here's the first mistake I made. I need to save my divine toe for the first time the adds come up, because there's two skeleton mage that needs to be interrupted, and luckily they were spawning pretty close to me, so I can interrupt both of them with no problem. But sometimes you can get screwed over by RNGs like really badly. But that was fine. I'm trying not to rely on my DPS to CC the adds or freezing trap or anything, because every global they have is valuable for to do damage. So as a tank, I want to make sure I can make their life as easy as possible. So I'm interrupting everything, bring them in. If the crossbowman doesn't die like at the end, I can dodge it, so I'm not too worried about that. It looks like they're killing it. And this boss is another easy one in this dungeon. And then there's another orb here just laying on the left. The war is gonna pick it up, and then we're gonna do a double pull. Alright, the warrior is gonna pick up the other orb, and there should be a very fun pull coming up. There it is. So normally we use both orbs here in the upper left patrol to burn them all down. So I use my first orb here. I'm not gonna take a lot of damage in this pull because Stitch works. It claps me very hard. Alright, and here's how that happened. I looked back at this a lot of times, and I figured out what went wrong. So I had 2 stacks of the debuff on me from the stitch work, which makes me take a lot of extra damage. And then I was at full health, but then my healer dropped the Spiraling Totem because she was scared that I'm gonna die, and that brought me back to almost half health, because there was the DPS were dying as well. I don't know to what, maybe the sloppy hands. And then I got the second part of the debuff, and then at that time I already ran out of my defensives. I already used my Guardians of Ancient Kings and Ardent Defender, so, and she just couldn't get me up in time. And in hindsight, we can either kill the mobs faster, or I can make better use of my defensives. Maybe I can hold off Guardians of Ancient Kings a little bit later, so that I have something to respond to, like, extremely stressful conditions, because I think Ardent Defender and Scale will last me for a while, and I can kite a little bit after the orbs run out. So I can definitely make better use of my cooldowns there. That pull probably cost us around, I don't know, 3 to 4 minutes, because from people dying, resetting, and then we have to kill this pack again. That's probably 3 minutes of time that we lost, and I think that ended up making us not +2 this key, which is fine. It does happen. Oh, I forgot to mention, we can either kill that pack double pull faster, or we can use a spear to make sure we one-shot the stitch work, because I think at that time some bolstering stacks were going out too, so it's just really stressful. So maybe we can use one spear on this pack as well, because it's fortified weak. If it's tyrannical weak, this pack isn't as scary as what we just witnessed. But other than that, I think we're doing pretty good for the rest of the key, and have a lot of hiccups. Maybe there's some shenanigans in the last boss, which that might be fun to see as well. Alright, he has a lot of bolstering stacks. We're to be honest, we're doing really good in killing everything evenly. Nice shot from my Warlock. Ooh. I guess karma. Alright, the war is gonna run. I have Bob. I can technically I can bob him, but I want to save my bob for the boss in case anything goes wrong. We made a mistake on this boss as well, which you'll see in a little bit. Alright, it's the shaman's, it's my healer's time to run. She's almost out of space. If the mob targets her again, she's got nowhere to run. So let's hope she does not get targeted again. Oh no, she did! Run! 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 Bonk. But it's fine. I don't need a lot of healing for this pack. I can stay long enough until she gets back. This is actually a pretty dangerous pack because if you're not killing everything evenly, then the big mob is gonna have 3 stacks of bolstering, and then the tenderizer hurts a lot, and you have to plan your defensives very carefully, or you have to kite, like I might start doing now, but I'm still fine because I got a reset on the stack, or I did not. So as you can see, I'm starting to kite now, letting my stack fall off. And then my warriors taunted for me just for a second, so that I can catch a glimpse to reset my stacks. Alright. Now, this pack also hurts a lot. Because if you're like, again, if you're not killing everything evenly, every time he throw up, it's gonna one shot with 3 stacks of bolstering. So luckily I think he casted at the warrior a lot, which he can spell reflect. And like, even if 1 stack of bolstering it's starting to hurt. A lot of healing. Alright, that's 1 avoided. And I need to drag it to the sides to make sure no one. Ooh. That was close. Yeah, I need to drag it to the side so that because its corpse keeps radiating AoE damage, so we're gonna put it to the side and then make sure no one goes near it. Alright, and this boss placement and positioning is very important because you don't want the hooks can actually hook the dismantler. So what you want to do is you want to drag him away from the hook. And my healer started moving a little bit too early and we missed the first hook. You'd think we've been doing this dungeon for like 3 seasons. You think people has figured this out already. Alright, so this is a little bit tricky now because we have two hooks that are going out at the same time. So we ended up hooking none of it. And at the meantime, I'm taking a lot of damage from tanking 2 creations. Yeah, we somehow missed this one. I'm not sure what happened, because it looked like it's gonna connect. So that was a little weird. So we're waiting for this hook to go out. to get the boss down. There's another creation coming out soon, I think. Or is there? Oh no, there isn't. We normally save Lust for this boss. I mean for the last boss, but we ended up having to use Lust just so that we can get this safely. And then because the wipe here is detrimental, you're out of spears, you're out of weapons. It's gonna set you back a long time. But luckily we ended up salvaging that fight actually pretty well. So we're just going into this boss without a lot of CDs and stuff. But we do have hammers, so we can, every time he puts on the shield, we can hammer the shields down. And having a paladin on this boss for this fight is extremely useful, because his root, that the big circle that needs to be dispelled, you can pre-freedom it, and then it just doesn't go on. Like you said, like you see here, I can pre-freedom the warlock and my healer doesn't even have to pay attention to it. And it's the cooldown is the same between the spell and Blessing of Freedom. So ideally you can have almost every time he casts this, you can free them, and then you just completely negates the mechanics. But it doesn't line up sometimes. Most of the time it does. It just depends on how fast is your globals, and then like what's your haste and such. But I can see my freedoms coming back up. So, but the warlock doesn't have anyone in its close to him, so I decided to let this through so that I can have freedom for the next one. Freedom. By the way, mouse over freedom macro is really good. Highly recommend you guys to make something like that. For that and for Bop, lay on hands, they're all very useful, because the situation where you need them is very, how should I say it? It's very emergent. You're only gonna use them in emergencies, so it doesn't make sense. You have to click a button and then click your mouse. All right, this is the last shield. Boss should go. Oh. How did the warlock die? I think he died downstairs. I have no idea how, but we can kill this without him. No problem. Well, there it is. That's the key. Not very hard, but we still made a lot of mistakes, and it's nowhere near perfect. Hopefully we can clean it up next time. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy this, let me know in the comments what you think, or if you have any suggestions of either the video or how I play. Excited to hear how you guys think. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next time.